If you're enjoying this story, subscribe to Satoshi's Lullaby. New episodes every day. Now, let's continue. Close your eyes. September 15th, 2022, 6:42 a.m. UTC. A number appears on a screen inside the Ethereum client. It reads, Terminal total difficulty reached. And with that, one of the largest and most consequential software upgrades in the history of the internet was complete. No downtime, no transactions lost, no funds disrupted. Ethereum's entire consensus mechanism, the engine at the heart of a network holding hundreds of billions of dollars, had just been replaced while the network was running. The people watching the live stream that morning had been waiting for this for 7 years. Some of them had given up their day jobs. Some had moved cities. Some had spent thousands of hours writing code they were never sure would work. When the terminal number flashed, there was cheering in Discord servers, in Zoom calls, in apartments in Berlin and San Francisco and Singapore. What they had just pulled off was widely described as the most complex software migration ever attempted at scale. Ethereum's old engine ran on proof of work, the same system as Bitcoin, where miners burned electricity to compete for blocks. The new engine ran on proof of stake, where validators locked up ETH as collateral instead. Overnight, Ethereum's energy consumption dropped by 99.95%. This is the story of the merge, why it took 7 years, what could have gone wrong, and what it means for every blockchain that comes after it. So, lean in, ready to embark on this journey. Chapter 1 awaits, and with it, the unfolding of a saga that will shape the digital landscape for years to come. In the beginning, there was an idea, a vision that sought to redefine the very architecture of trust and decentralization. This vision was first etched into existence in the mind of a young programmer named Vitalik Buterin. Born in Kolomna, Russia, in 1994, Buterin moved to Canada at the age of 6, a journey that would set the stage for his eventual role as the creator of Ethereum. Ethereum began as a bold proposition. In 2013, when Vitalik published the Ethereum white paper at just 19 years old, he introduced a decentralized platform capable of executing smart contracts. These self-executing contracts were designed to eliminate the need for intermediaries, promising to revolutionize industries dependent on trust and verification. This concept captured the imagination of developers and enthusiasts worldwide. Ethereum officially launched on July 30th, 2015, utilizing the proof-of-work consensus mechanism. This mechanism, pioneered by the enigmatic Satoshi Nakamoto in Bitcoin's 2008 white paper, relied on miners competing to solve complex mathematical puzzles to validate transactions. While effective in securing the network, proof of work was energy-intensive, drawing criticism for its environmental impact. At its peak, Ethereum's energy consumption was comparable to that of Chile, a sobering reality for a world increasingly concerned with sustainability. The NFT boom of 2021 brought Ethereum's carbon footprint into sharp focus. As digital art and collectibles surged in popularity, the demand for Ethereum transactions soared, spotlighting the environmental cost of proof of work. For Ethereum's community, this was a catalyst, an urgent call to action. The time had come to realize a long-held dream, transitioning to proof of stake. Proof of stake offered a more energy-efficient alternative. Instead of miners expending computational power, validators would be chosen to create new blocks based on the amount of cryptocurrency they held and were willing to stake as collateral. This shift promised to reduce Ethereum's energy use by over 99%, a stunning transformation with profound implications for both the network and the planet. The journey to transition Ethereum from proof of work to proof of stake was not a straightforward path. The original plan, first articulated in Ethereum's early development stages, faced a series of delays and challenges. Implementing proof of stake at scale was an unprecedented task, fraught with technical complexities and unforeseen hurdles. The community's patience was tested repeatedly as timelines slipped and obstacles emerged. But these challenges only fueled the resolve of a dedicated group of developers and supporters. Among them were notable figures like Danny Ryan and Tim Bako, who alongside Buterin steered Ethereum's ship through turbulent waters. As the project progressed, the stakes grew higher, and the anticipation of the merge, as it became known, permeated every corner of the Ethereum ecosystem. The merge was not just a technical upgrade. It symbolized Ethereum's evolution into a mature, sustainable network, fitting for a project that had always been about more than technology alone. Vitalik Buterin's vision for Ethereum was deeply rooted in the principles of decentralization and community. This approach was evident in every aspect of the transition to proof of stake. Rather than a top-down mandate, the merge was a collective endeavor, driven by a decentralized network of contributors from around the globe. Discussions on forums, conference calls, and development channels formed the backbone of this monumental effort. Developers debated, tested, and retested, iterating on solutions to ensure a seamless transition. The Ethereum community, united by a shared purpose, rallied together, their determination unwavering even in the face of setbacks. On September 15, 2022, at precisely 6:42 a.m. UTC, the merge took place. It was a moment years in the making, yet it unfolded quietly, almost imperceptibly, as the Ethereum network transitioned smoothly from proof of work to proof of stake. In that instant, the world of blockchain witnessed a historic transformation, a testament to human ingenuity and collective will. The aftermath of the merge reverberated across the digital landscape. Immediate reactions ranged from elation to skepticism as the community and industry leaders absorbed the magnitude of what had been achieved. The shift to proof of stake marked a new chapter for Ethereum, one full of potential, yet also laden with new responsibilities and challenges. As Ethereum settled into its new operational paradigm, the network's stability and security were scrutinized closely. Developers continued to monitor the system, ensuring that the transition's promises of efficiency and sustainability were realized without compromising the network's integrity. The broader implications of the merge extended far beyond the technical sphere. It served as a beacon for other blockchain projects, demonstrating that large-scale consensus changes were possible without sacrificing decentralization or security. The lessons learned from this process would inform future upgrades and innovations across the industry. Looking ahead, the potential of Ethereum seemed boundless. With the transition to proof of stake complete, attention turned to what lay on the horizon. Scaling solutions, improved user experiences, and new applications in decentralized finance and beyond beckoned, offering tantalizing glimpses of what Ethereum might achieve. Yet, amid the excitement, there was a recognition that this journey was far from over. The merge was a critical milestone, but it was part of a larger, ongoing evolution. Ethereum's story, like that of the internet itself, would continue to be written by countless hands, each contributing to a tapestry of innovation and possibility. As we close this chapter, the air is thick with anticipation for what comes next. The triumph of the merge stands as a testament to what can be accomplished when vision meets persistence. The narrative of Ethereum, rich with intrigue and ambition, is one that continues to unfold, ever dynamic, ever forward. In the next chapter, we delve deeper into the challenges faced by proof of work, exploring the environmental and reputational hurdles that compelled an entire community to pursue change. The journey towards the merge was less a straight line and more a tangled web of innovation, debate, and relentless iteration. The idea of Ethereum, born from the mind of Vitalik Buterin, emerged in December 2013 with the release of the original white paper. The vision was to create a decentralized platform capable of running smart contracts and applications without downtime, fraud, or interference. Ethereum launched on July 30, 2015, utilizing the proof-of-work mechanism, the very same system pioneered by Bitcoin's enigmatic creator, Satoshi Nakamoto. Vitalik and his team, including Dr. Gavin Wood and Joseph Lubin, were aware that this mechanism was only a temporary solution. Proof of work was consuming enormous amounts of energy, comparable at its peak to the entire country of Chile, and it was clear that Ethereum would need to transition to a more sustainable model. The intention was always to move to proof of stake, a concept that promised to drastically reduce energy consumption while maintaining network security. However, transitioning such a massive and complex network was daunting. Implementing proof of stake at scale was untested and fraught with technical challenges that required not just innovation, but precision and patience. From its earliest days, Ethereum was driven by a community of developers, enthusiasts, and visionaries. The Ethereum Foundation, formed to support the platform's development, became a hub of collaboration and debate. Ideas flowed freely, and so did criticisms. Delays in transitioning to proof of stake were inevitable, given the complexity of the task at hand. The original plan foresaw the transition happening much sooner, but reality often diverges from intention. As years passed, with each delay, there were whispers of doubt about Ethereum's ability to make the shift. Yet, for every skeptic, there were many more believers who saw the potential of a more efficient and scalable blockchain. In the lead-up to the merge, Ethereum's community embarked on an unprecedented series of tests and simulations. It was in these trials that the project's resilience was truly tested. Developers from around the world contributed their expertise, some volunteering countless hours to testnet after testnet. The Ethereum 2.0 testnet, known as Mandala, launched in August 2020. It was a critical milestone in this journey. The Mandala testnet represented a full-scale rehearsal for the transition to proof of stake. Though not without its hurdles, including a major incident when a bug caused a chain split, these challenges were invaluable learning experiences. Then came the Beacon Chain, launched on December 1, 2020, a precursor to Ethereum's eventual merge. This was Ethereum's proof-of-stake chain running alongside the main proof-of-work chain. It was an essential step, laying the groundwork for an eventual seamless transition. Vitalik Buterin and his team knew the risks involved. They understood the potential for failure and how it could impact not just Ethereum but the broader cryptocurrency landscape. Yet the stakes were too high to let fear dictate the path forward. In the months leading up to the merge, the team worked tirelessly, sometimes around the clock. Every detail was scrutinized, every line of code checked and rechecked. They held countless calls, some lasting into the early hours, each one a combination of technical deep dives and motivational rallying cries. The community's support was unwavering. Developers, miners, and users alike recognized the importance of the transition. They understood the environmental implications of the proof-of-work system and were eager to embrace a greener future. ETH2, or Ethereum 2.0, became more than just a technical upgrade. It was a symbol of Ethereum's commitment to sustainable innovation. The NFT boom of 2021 placed Ethereum's energy consumption under a harsh spotlight, heightening the urgency for the merge. As September 15, 2022 approached, excitement and tension mounted in equal measure. Would years of preparation culminate in success? For those who had invested their time, energy, and passion into Ethereum, this was a moment that carried immense weight. On the day of the merge, a global audience watched with bated breath. At precisely 6:42 a.m. UTC, the transition was executed. The methodical, step-by-step approach had paid off. Ethereum had successfully switched from proof-of-work to proof-of-stake, marking a watershed moment in blockchain history. The celebration was not just about the technological triumph, but also about the collective effort of an entire community. This was a testament to what could be achieved through collaboration and shared vision. Yet, for all the joy and relief, there was also a recognition of the responsibilities that lay ahead. The merge was not an endpoint, but a new beginning. It opened the door to further innovation, scalability, and a host of possibilities yet to be explored. Developers are now looking towards the future, with ideas buzzing around potential upgrades and enhancements. As Ethereum moves forward in this new era, the lessons learned from the merge will serve as a guiding light. It has set a precedent for what is possible when ambition meets persistence. In a world that often moves at a dizzying pace, the patience and resilience shown by the Ethereum community stand as a powerful reminder of what can be achieved over time. In the next chapter, we will delve into the immediate aftermath and impact of the merge. As the dust settles, what changes have taken root within the Ethereum network? And how has the broader industry reacted to this monumental shift? The answers lie in the unfolding story of Ethereum's journey post-merge. Behind every grand achievement, there lies an intricate mosaic of human effort, dedication, and unyielding spirit. Ethereum's merge was no different, a massive undertaking orchestrated by a diverse and global team of developers, visionaries, and community members. To appreciate the scale and success of this transition, we must first pull back the curtain and understand the individuals and the collective while driving this ambitious upgrade. The story of Ethereum's merge is, in many ways, the story of its creator, Vitalik Buterin. Born on January 31, 1994, in Kolomna, Russia, Vitalik exhibited a prodigious aptitude for mathematics and programming from a young age. His family moved to Canada when he was 6, where he continued to nurture his intellectual curiosity. At 17, he discovered Bitcoin and quickly became fascinated by the idea of decentralized currencies. In 2013, at just 19 years old, Vitalik published the Ethereum white paper, envisioning a blockchain that could handle a wider range of applications beyond financial transactions. By 2015, his dream had materialized into reality, as Ethereum was launched using a proof-of-work consensus mechanism inspired by Bitcoin. However, Vitalik always envisioned Ethereum evolving into something more efficient and sustainable through proof-of-stake. Transitioning to proof-of-stake was not merely a technical challenge. It was a multifaceted problem requiring consensus within a decentralized community. Developers like Danny Ryan and researchers like Justin Drake played crucial roles in this journey. Ryan spearheaded the Ethereum Foundation's ETH2 research team, while Drake was instrumental in developing the cryptographic and game-theoretical underpinnings of proof-of-stake. Their contributions were pivotal in shaping the roadmap that led to the merge. The road to the merge was paved with numerous testnets, each designed to simulate the transition in a controlled environment. These testnets, codenamed Ropsten, Goerli, and Sepolia, served as proving grounds for the new proof-of-stake mechanism. Each test involved coordinating thousands of nodes and validators across different time zones, ensuring that everything functioned seamlessly. The testnets revealed bugs and vulnerabilities, allowing developers to refine and optimize the code. The community aspect of Ethereum cannot be understated. The Ethereum ecosystem is a decentralized web of developers, enthusiasts, and stakeholders spread across the globe. This unique structure meant that achieving consensus on the merge required not only technical solutions, but also extensive dialogue and collaboration. Countless hours were spent on Ethereum forums and in developer meetings, reaching consensus on the path forward. Ecosystem projects like Consensus and large crypto exchanges such as Coinbase and Binance played their parts, preparing their infrastructure to support the new proof-of-stake chain. This collaboration underscored the importance of collective effort in a decentralized world. September 15, 2022, marked the culmination of years of hard work and dedication. The merge was scheduled meticulously, set to occur when Ethereum's total terminal difficulty, TTD, reached a specific threshold. At precisely 6:42 a.m. UTC, the network achieved this milestone, seamlessly transitioning from proof of work to proof of stake. The moment was watched live by thousands in the Ethereum community, each moment charged with anticipation and hope. As the final proof of work block was mined, cheers erupted across the Ethereum universe. It was a moment of triumph and relief, signifying not only a technical feat, but also the power of a global community united in purpose. The successful transition was a testament to the detailed planning and precise execution of countless individuals. However, the immediate aftermath of the merge was not without its challenges. Developers monitored the network closely, ensuring stability and security in the new proof-of-stake environment. Minor issues were promptly addressed, demonstrating the resilience and agility of the Ethereum community. The successful execution of the merge also had immediate environmental benefits, significantly reducing Ethereum's energy consumption to a fraction of its former level, a move welcomed by environmentalists worldwide. This monumental shift had profound implications beyond the technical realm. It was a statement of Ethereum's commitment to sustainability and innovation. The merge marked the beginning of a new era for Ethereum, one where scalability and efficiency could be pursued without compromising environmental values. The transition also served as a blueprint for the broader blockchain industry, illustrating that large-scale upgrades are possible in a decentralized ecosystem. It opened doors for further innovation and inspired other blockchain projects to pursue similar paths towards sustainability. Yet, the journey was far from over. For Vitalik Buterin, the merge was a significant milestone, but it was not the endpoint. His vision for Ethereum extended beyond mere consensus mechanisms. He foresaw Ethereum as a global computing platform, enabling a decentralized economy and democratizing access to technology. The merge was just one chapter in this ongoing story, a story that would continue to unfold with each new upgrade and innovation. As we look to the future, the question remains, what new heights will Ethereum reach, and how will it continue to reshape the technological landscape? With the merge successfully behind them, the developers and community members of Ethereum now turn their attention to the next phases of development, which promise to further enhance the capabilities of this groundbreaking platform. Already, discussions were underway about the next major upgrade, known as the Surge, aimed at improving scalability and decreasing transaction costs. It was a reminder that the spirit of innovation and progress is ever present within the Ethereum community. This spirit, coupled with the lessons learned from the merge, will undoubtedly guide Ethereum through its future endeavors. As our narrative progresses, we will delve into the immediate impacts and the ripple effects of the merge, exploring how this historic transition continues to influence the world of blockchain technology. The journey of Ethereum is one of constant evolution, a testament to human ingenuity and the relentless pursuit of a more equitable technological future. In the next chapter, we will explore the aftermath and impact of the merge, examining the reactions and the road that lies ahead. In the next chapter, we will explore the aftermath and impact of the merge, examining the reactions and the road that lies ahead. On September 15, 2022, Ethereum's long-anticipated transition from proof-of-work to proof-of-stake was successfully completed. As the clock struck 6:42 a.m. UTC, developers, enthusiasts, and skeptics alike watched in anticipation as a new era for blockchain technology commenced. For many, this day marked the culmination of years of relentless work, a testament to the resilience and vision of the Ethereum community. Vitalik Buterin, Ethereum's creator, expressed his relief and hope in a simple tweet, acknowledging both the achievement and the journey ahead. Buterin's journey began in 2013 with the publication of the original Ethereum white paper, a document that envisioned a decentralized platform that could revolutionize more than just currency. The immediate aftermath of the merge was met with both celebration and scrutiny. Within hours, transactions on the Ethereum network continued to be processed smoothly, a critical sign that the transition had been executed with precision. The network's notorious energy consumption, once likened to that of the entire nation of Chile, began its rapid decline. By eliminating the need for energy-intensive mining operations, Ethereum's carbon footprint was poised to fall by an estimated 99.95%. Yet the transition was not without its critics. Some members of the crypto community remained skeptical of proof of stake, questioning its security and decentralization aspects compared to the more battle-tested proof of work. Among the doubters, the prominent Bitcoin maximalists voiced concerns, arguing that proof of stake might lead to greater centralization. Despite these critiques, the broader industry response was largely positive. Major players in the DeFi and NFT spaces, which had experienced tremendous growth during the NFT boom of 2021, welcomed the shift. For projects building on Ethereum, the reduction in environmental impact was not just a moral victory, but a strategic advantage. It allowed them to appeal to an audience increasingly concerned about sustainability without compromising on the network's robust security features. Meanwhile, Ethereum developers wasted no time in addressing the minor glitches that emerged post-merge. These issues, while not unexpected, tested the community's resolve and highlighted the importance of ongoing vigilance and innovation. As Ethereum's nodes, scattered across various continents, synchronized under the new proof-of-stake consensus, a sense of cautious optimism began to permeate the network. From San Francisco to Singapore, developers and users engaged in vigorous discussions about the implications of the merge. Many saw it as a pivotal moment in cryptocurrency's evolution, one that could inspire other blockchain projects to pursue similar paths toward energy efficiency. For a community that had been galvanized by ideals of decentralization and innovation, the merge was more than a technical upgrade. It was a reaffirmation of their commitment to pushing the boundaries of what blockchain could achieve. Vitalik Buterin, in interviews following the successful transition, reflected on the road ahead. He emphasized that while the merge was a significant milestone, it was just one step in Ethereum's ongoing development journey. The vision for Ethereum, as outlined in the 2013 white paper, remained expansive. It included further scaling solutions, improvements in security, and enhanced user experience. In the weeks following the merge, Ethereum's price saw fluctuations typical of a market still digesting such a monumental change. Analysts provided varying interpretations. Some viewed the transition as a long-term bullish signal indicative of Ethereum's growing maturity and adaptability. Others cautioned that market volatility could be exacerbated by external economic pressures, including global inflationary trends and regulatory scrutiny. As the dust settled, one aspect became abundantly clear. The merge had set a new precedent in the world of blockchain technology. For years, proof of stake had been theorized as a viable alternative, yet its implementation at scale remained untested until this pivotal moment. Ethereum's success emboldened developers and contributed to a broader conversation about the future of decentralized networks and their role in shaping our digital and physical landscapes. The human stories intertwined with the merge were as compelling as the technological narrative. Developers who had dedicated countless hours to testing, coding, and refining felt a profound sense of achievement. Among them was Tim Bako, who had played a pivotal role in coordinating the transition. His efforts, alongside a global team of contributors, were instrumental in navigating the complexities that arose during Ethereum's metamorphosis. Even as the merge's immediate impacts were being assessed, attention began to shift toward what lay ahead. The next phase of Ethereum's roadmap promised further innovations. Dubbed the Surge, This phase aimed to address scaling challenges, enhancing the network's capacity to process transactions efficiently. It was a reminder that in the world of blockchain, rest is fleeting, and the drive to improve is unrelenting. As the community continued to reflect on the merge, the lessons learned were manifold. They highlighted the importance of open collaboration, rigorous testing, and the courage to embrace change in the face of uncertainty. While the merge was a technical triumph, it also underscored the human element at the heart of Ethereum's journey. The dreamers, the builders, and the believers who dared to reshape the future. Looking forward, the excitement and challenges of Ethereum's path were palpable. The transition to proof of stake was just the beginning of a new chapter, a chapter where possibilities seemed as vast as the ambitions that fueled them. As the network celebrated its newfound efficiency, the importance of vigilance and innovation was never more critical. In the echoes of the merge, one could hear the whispers of potential, a call to action for what Ethereum might yet become. As we conclude this chapter, we are left with a sense of anticipation and curiosity. The merge has already begun to reshape perceptions and realities. With eyes set on the horizon, the question remains, how will the lessons of today shape the Ethereum of tomorrow? In the next chapter, we will delve into the lessons learned and the technical and organizational intricacies that made the merge possible. Join us as we continue to explore the legacy and future implications of this groundbreaking transition. Join us as we continue to explore the legacy and future implications of this groundbreaking transition. The merge was not just a technical achievement. It was a moment of profound significance, one that will ripple through the digital halls of financial systems and beyond. A long-awaited evolution for Ethereum, the transition from proof of work to proof of stake on September 15, 2022, at precisely 6:42 a.m. UTC, was celebrated as a triumph of innovation and perseverance. On that day, the Ethereum network's energy consumption, previously comparable to a nation like Chile, was dramatically reduced. This shift was not merely the flick of a switch, but the culmination of years of meticulous planning, rigorous testing, and unwavering dedication. The team of developers led by Ethereum's creator Vitalik Buterin had been preparing for this moment since the publication of the original Ethereum white paper in 2013. Buterin, a prodigious figure in the blockchain community, envisioned a more sustainable future for Ethereum. His ambition was not just to preserve the network's integrity, but to enhance its capabilities while minimizing its environmental impact. The path to the merge, however, was fraught with obstacles and delays that tested the resolve of everyone involved. In the days leading up to September 15th, anticipation and anxiety were palpable within the Ethereum community. Developers, investors, and users alike held their collective breath, knowing that any misstep during the merge could have catastrophic consequences. It was akin to changing the engine of an aircraft mid-flight, a feat that required precision and nerves of steel. In the early hours of the morning, as the clock ticked toward the designated time, teams from around the world were connected via video calls and online forums, eyes glued to their screens. They were poised to respond to any anomalies, though cautiously optimistic that their preparations would pay off. At the right moment, the switch was flipped, and Ethereum's network embraced its new proof-of-stake consensus mechanism. The immediate aftermath of the merge was nothing short of extraordinary. The transition appeared seamless, with no major disruptions reported across the network. For a system that once consumed nearly the energy of a small country, this new paradigm was a breath of fresh air. The relief and joy were echoed in messages across forums and social media, as members of the community expressed their pride and gratitude. This shift heralded a new era, not only for Ethereum, but for the broader blockchain ecosystem. With proof of stake now demonstrably viable at scale, questions about the sustainability of blockchain technology moved from theory to tangible reality. Skeptics had long doubted whether such a transition could be executed without significant hiccups, but the success of the merge provided a resounding answer. Yet as the dust settled, new challenges and questions emerged. The Ethereum network had reached a new milestone, but the implications of this transformation were only beginning to unfold. Would other blockchain networks follow suit? How would this affect Ethereum's market position and its role in the digital economy? In the weeks following the merge, analysts and enthusiasts alike examined every facet of the new proof-of-stake system. The reduction in energy consumption was undeniable, but attention soon turned to the security and scalability aspects of the network. Ethereum had taken a bold step forward, but with change came the responsibility to ensure that the network remained secure against threats that had yet to emerge. The core development team, along with the Ethereum community, embarked on a new journey to optimize and fortify the network in its post-merge incarnation. One of the critical tasks ahead was addressing the concerns regarding network validators. Under proof of stake, these validators now played a pivotal role in maintaining the integrity and security of the blockchain. The potential concentration of power among validators was a topic of intense debate. Could this lead to centralization, and if so, what mechanisms could be devised to prevent it? For Vitalik Buterin, the transition was a dream realized, yet he acknowledged that it was merely a foundation upon which Ethereum's future would be built. He emphasized the importance of community involvement in shaping the next phases of Ethereum's evolution, urging stakeholders to remain vigilant and proactive in addressing new challenges. The merge also sparked a renewed interest in blockchain technology from environmentalists and policymakers. Ethereum's dramatic reduction in energy consumption exemplified the potential for sustainable innovation within the tech industry. Governments and institutions that had previously criticized blockchain's environmental footprint now found themselves considering its potential applications with fresh eyes. In the financial sector, the merge was a topic of discussion in boardrooms and investment firms. Ethereum's successful transition to proof-of-stake bolstered confidence in its stability and longevity, prompting a re-evaluation of Ethereum's role in decentralized finance and beyond. The cryptocurrency, which had long been viewed as volatile, now presented itself as a mature and resilient platform. As we reflect on the days following the merge, one can't help but marvel at the human stories interwoven with this technological milestone. Developers who had worked tirelessly for years, often at the expense of personal lives and sleep, were finally seeing the fruits of their labor. Their dedication and passion were not just for Ethereum, but for the broader vision of a decentralized and more equitable digital future. The human element remains a critical thread in the ongoing narrative of Ethereum's journey. Whether through late-night coding sessions or community meetups across the globe, the spirit of collaboration and innovation is what continues to drive the network forward. It is this spirit that will guide Ethereum as it navigates the uncharted waters of its new proof-of-stake reality. Looking ahead, the lessons of the merge will serve as a blueprint for future upgrades and transitions, not just for Ethereum, but for the entire blockchain sector. The meticulous planning, community coordination, and commitment to sustainability demonstrated by Ethereum's evolution will inspire future projects to pursue ambitious upgrades with confidence. And so, as we close this chapter on the merge, the stage is set for the next evolution in Ethereum's journey. The questions raised and challenges identified in the aftermath of this transition will guide the developments in the months and years to come. The future of Ethereum is filled with possibilities, and we stand at the brink of a new era in blockchain technology. Join us next time as we delve into the lessons learned and the road that lies ahead for Ethereum and its ever-growing community. The aftermath of Ethereum's merge was as much a moment of reflection as it was a new beginning. On the morning of September 15th, 2022, as the sun cast its first light across different time zones, Ethereum had completed its transformation. The merge had been executed with a precision and coordination rarely seen in the tech world, a testament to the years of meticulous planning and community effort. But in the days that followed, the community found itself in a peculiar state of emotional fluctuation, caught between relief and uncertainty. In the immediate aftermath, Ethereum's network operated smoothly, almost as if nothing monumental had happened. The transition at precisely 6:42 a.m. UTC had moved Ethereum from a proof-of-work to a proof-of-stake model, a process that many had believed to be theoretically sound, but was untested on such a large scale until that quiet morning. Vitalik Buterin, now considered as much a sage as a programmer, expressed cautious optimism. He acknowledged on a live stream that while the success was significant, the journey was far from over. The energy implications of the merge were significant. At its peak, Ethereum's energy consumption had been comparable to that of the entire nation of Chile. Now, with the switch to proof-of-stake, energy usage had plummeted by over 99%. Environmental activists, who had long viewed the crypto industry with skepticism due to its enormous carbon footprint, cautiously greeted the news. Buterin's vision had, at least in part, been realized: a less environmentally damaging blockchain. Yet the community knew that the true impact would only be observed over time. Within days, Ethereum's price fluctuated, reflecting the market's mixed sentiments. Some investors feared that the new consensus mechanism might expose the network to unforeseen vulnerabilities. Others were optimistic, betting on the long-term benefits of a more sustainable model. The merge had been a technological leap of faith, and the ramifications touched every corner of the blockchain universe. The broader industry watched closely. Competing networks, which had remained on proof-of-work, now faced mounting pressure to consider similar transitions. Bitcoin, the progenitor of the proof-of-work model invented by the mysterious Satoshi Nakamoto, remained steadfastly attached to its roots. However, whispers of potential energy reforms grew louder. Ethereum's bold move had set a precedent that was difficult to ignore. Reactions from the Ethereum community were mixed but leaned towards positivity. Developers expressed satisfaction with the seamlessness of the transition. Miners, on the other hand, faced a grim reality. The hardware that once churned through complex calculations now sat idle, relics of a bygone era. For many, the shift meant a pivot or an exit from mining entirely. The personal stories of these miners, individuals who had invested time and resources into the ecosystem, painted a complex emotional landscape. Some felt betrayed, while others saw it as an evolution of their craft. The merge also sparked conversations around scalability and security. Proof of stake promised more than just energy efficiency. It held the potential for faster and cheaper transactions. However, skeptics pointed out that proof of stake, while more scalable, might be less secure in theory. The so-called rich get richer problem, where those with the most tokens had the most influence, was a concern that surfaced in forums and discussions. The day after the merge, at a small cafe in Toronto, a group of Ethereum enthusiasts gathered to dissect the event. Among them was Sarah Nguyen, a blockchain educator who had been following Ethereum since 2015. She recalled the early days when Ethereum launched using the proof-of-work mechanism and how it had gradually become more than just a technological curiosity. For Sarah, the merge represented not just a technical achievement, but a philosophical one, a step towards a more equitable digital future. Industry analysts began to publish reports weighing the pros and cons of the transition. A detailed analysis from CoinDesk noted that the upgrade could potentially lead to a 90% reduction in new Ethereum issuance, effectively altering its economic dynamics. This shift was expected to affect everything from NFT markets to decentralized finance, DeFi platforms that relied heavily on Ethereum. The NFT boom of 2021 had already drawn attention to Ethereum's carbon footprint, and the merge provided a timely response to those concerns. Meanwhile, in San Francisco at the annual Ethereum conference, Buterin took the stage amidst a standing ovation. In his keynote, he reflected on the journey since the original Ethereum white paper was published in 2013. "This is not the end, but the beginning of a new Ethereum," he proclaimed, urging developers and users alike to think about the possibilities ahead. As the immediate effects of the merge began to settle, the Ethereum community turned its gaze to the future. Discussions centered around what this new, energy-efficient Ethereum could enable. There was talk of more ambitious projects, from decentralized autonomous organizations to entirely new forms of digital interactions. But these ambitions came with the understanding that the path forward was lined with challenges yet unseen. In the global financial hubs of New York and London, institutional investors took note. Ethereum's successful transition to proof of stake was seen as a validation of blockchain scalability and sustainability. While some traditional investors remained skeptical, others saw the potential for a new wave of blockchain adoption, particularly as regulatory environments began to adapt. The merge had proven that significant upgrades were not only possible, but could be executed without halting the entire system, an appealing notion for industries heavily reliant on stability. Yet, for all the technical and financial implications, the human element was never far from the surface. Developers and users worldwide shared stories of resilience and adaptability. In Berlin, a developer named Marcus, who had been part of the Ethereum ecosystem since the launch, spoke of a newfound hope for innovation. He saw the merge not as an endpoint, but as a stepping stone towards a more decentralized web. As the first few weeks post-merge unfolded, it became clear that Ethereum's metamorphosis was only one chapter in its unfolding story. The network, now more energy-conscious, faced questions about long-term security and governance. However, the sense of community, the belief in Ethereum's potential to transform technology and society, remained a powerful driving force. The fall, then, was not a collapse, but a shedding of outdated methods, a graceful entry into a new era. As the dust settled, Ethereum stood ready to face the challenges and opportunities of the future. And in this moment of calm after the storm, the world awaited the next chapter in this remarkable journey. In the coming chapters, Ethereum would navigate the lessons learned from the merge, setting its sights on the horizon, where the future of blockchain technology beckoned with endless possibilities. In the coming chapters, Ethereum would navigate the lessons learned from the merge, setting its sights on the horizon, where the future of blockchain technology beckoned with endless possibilities. But for now, in the quiet of September 15th, 2022, the Ethereum community took a collective breath. The merge had been executed at 6:42 a.m. UTC, marking a monumental shift from proof of work to proof of stake. The implications of this transition were vast, touching every corner of the blockchain universe. Vitalik Buterin, the creator of Ethereum, had envisioned this moment years ago. His journey began with the publication of the Ethereum white paper in 2013. It was a vision that promised not just a currency, but a world computer. The merge was a pivotal milestone in actualizing that vision. The immediate aftermath of the merge was a blend of relief and celebration. Ethereum, once likened to an energy-sucking monster comparable to the nation of Chile, had significantly reduced its carbon footprint. This achievement was more than just a technical upgrade. It was a statement. In the days following the transition, miners across the globe faced new realities. Their once indispensable hardware, designed for proof of work, suddenly obsolete. Companies in North America and China who had invested millions in mining operations now stood at a crossroads. Some pivoted towards other proof-of-work cryptocurrencies, while others sought greener ventures. Jack Li, a miner from Sichuan Province, China, had spent years building his operation. The merge, though anticipated, felt like a wave washing away years of effort. Jack recalled the days when he first read about Ethereum back in 2015, when the network was still young, powered by hope and endless possibilities. Now, he faced the daunting task of repurposing or dismantling his life's work. It was an emotional moment for many like Jack, whose livelihoods were entwined with Ethereum's original mechanism. For developers and users on the Ethereum network, the merge brought about a new era of opportunity. Decreased transaction fees, faster processing times, and a more sustainable framework invigorated the ecosystem. The NFT boom of 2021 had shone a harsh light on Ethereum's energy consumption. Artists and creators who flocked to the platform found themselves grappling with the environmental impact of their digital creations. The merge addressed these concerns, aligning Ethereum with a more eco-conscious future. As the community adapted to this new paradigm, reflections on the challenges encountered were inevitable. The path to the merge was laden with delays and technical hurdles. Each obstacle demanded meticulous attention, pushing the limits of what was considered possible in blockchain technology. Ethereum's transition echoed the broader narrative of technological evolution. Much like the invention of the steam engine or the creation of the internet, the merge represented a leap forward. It was a testament to human ingenuity and the relentless pursuit of progress. Vitalik Buterin, ever the visionary, remained focused on Ethereum's potential. The transition to proof-of-stake was not the end, but a beginning. He envisioned a world where blockchain technology could empower individuals and challenge traditional systems of power. The industry, as a whole, watched with keen interest. The success of Ethereum's merge prompted other blockchain networks to reconsider their own frameworks. Conversations about sustainability, scalability, and decentralization gained prominence. The ripple effects of the merge extended well beyond the Ethereum community. In the months following the merge, Ethereum's developers turned their attention to scaling solutions. The transition had addressed sustainability, but the network's capacity remained a crucial challenge. Layer 2 solutions, sharding, and data availability layers became focal points of discussion. On the organizational front, the Ethereum Foundation reflected on the governance structures that had enabled the merge. The decentralized nature of the network had proven both a strength and a challenge. Coordinating across disparate teams, stakeholders, and geographies required an unprecedented level of collaboration. The lessons learned from the merge informed future projects and upgrades. The importance of clear communication, consensus, and meticulous planning became abundantly clear. The transition underscored the need for a robust framework to manage technological evolution in a decentralized world. As the broader industry digested the implications of the merge, financial markets reacted with intrigue. Ethereum's value, often subject to market volatility, stabilized in the aftermath. Investors, both institutional and individual, recognized the long-term potential of a more sustainable Ethereum. The human story of the merge extended beyond developers and miners. Everyday users of the Ethereum network found themselves at the heart of a historic moment. For those who had engaged with decentralized finance DeFi platforms, the merge presented new opportunities to earn passive income through staking. Sarah Thompson, a DeFi enthusiast from New York, had been active in the space since 2020. She recalled the exhilaration of participating in liquidity pools and yield farming. The merge offered her a chance to contribute to network security while earning rewards, a prospect that aligned with her belief in decentralized finance. The decentralized nature of Ethereum meant that its evolution was driven by a community dispersed across the globe. Technologists, artists, investors, and enthusiasts formed a tapestry of diverse voices. The success of the merge was a testament to the collective effort of this global community. In the wake of the merge, Ethereum's roadmap remained ambitious. The network's transformation to proof of stake was just one step in a longer journey. The focus now shifted to tackling scalability and enhancing user experience, ensuring that Ethereum remained a leader in the blockchain space. Vitalik Buterin's vision continued to inspire those around him. His belief in a decentralized future, where individuals had greater autonomy and control, resonated deeply. The merge, though a significant milestone, was a chapter in a much larger story. As Ethereum looked to the future, the lessons from the merge provided a foundation for growth. The transition underscored the importance of adaptability and resilience in the face of change. It was a reminder that technological evolution was not just about code, but about the people behind it. The industry, still in its nascent stages, stood on the brink of transformation. Blockchain technology promised to redefine systems of trust, governance, and commerce. Ethereum's journey was a beacon, guiding the way for others to follow. In the heart of this transformation was the recognition of shared human values, the desire for a more equitable and sustainable world, the belief that technology could empower rather than exploit, the understanding that progress required both innovation and introspection. As the dust settled from the merge, the Ethereum community turned its gaze forward. The challenges ahead were formidable, but so too was the potential. With renewed vigor and a commitment to its core principles, Ethereum prepared for the next chapter in its evolution. A chapter where the future of blockchain technology would not just be envisioned, but realized. A chapter where the future of blockchain technology would not just be envisioned, but realized. To understand what lay ahead for Ethereum, it was essential to examine the trail it had blazed and the footsteps it left behind. In the eerie glow of computer screens across the globe, developers, investors, and skeptics all peered into the same digital abyss, searching for signs of what this new era might bring. They found themselves part of a profound investigation into the uncharted territory Ethereum now inhabited. It was September 16th, 2022, the day after the merge, when the Ethereum network transitioned from proof of work to proof of stake. The world awoke to a different Ethereum, one less hungry for energy and more adaptable to the demands of its community. Vitalik Buterin, Ethereum's creator, had often spoken about his vision for a more sustainable blockchain, one that steered clear of the energy-intensive path blazed by Bitcoin. This vision had been documented in his white paper, published in 2013. Back then, it seemed like a dream too distant to reach. Yet here it was, realized at precisely 6:42 a.m. UTC the previous morning. Skepticism, however, lingered in the air like a persistent fog. Questions swirled about the security and decentralization of this new proof-of-stake model. Critics feared that reducing the computational power needed to validate transactions might open doors for malicious actors. As Ethereum previously consumed energy comparable to the entire country of Chile, this change was monumental. Yet with monumental change often comes monumental scrutiny. The investigation into Ethereum's future was not merely a technical audit, it was a philosophical exploration. Developers like Tim Bako, who had been instrumental in coordinating the merge, found themselves at the center of this examination. Their task was to ensure that the decentralized nature of Ethereum not only persisted but thrived. In a small office in San Francisco, Bako sat surrounded by screens and charts. The data flowing in from the network was promising, a tapestry of transactions and smart contracts woven together seamlessly. Yet, he knew that the real test was not in the data alone, but in the perceptions and trust of the community. Halfway across the world, in Berlin, Ethereum researcher Danny Ryan was similarly entrenched in the depths of post-merge analysis. Ryan had long advocated for proof of stake, believing in its potential to democratize and sustain blockchain technology. Now, he reviewed security audits, ensuring that the theoretical underpinnings of proof of stake held up under real-world conditions. The significance of successful implementation rippled through the blockchain community. Ethereum's transition was a beacon, suggesting that change was possible, that sustainable technology could go hand in hand with innovation. Yet the balancing act was delicate. The merge was not just a software update. It was akin to changing the wings of a plane in mid-flight. Amidst these technical evaluations, the human stories emerged. For those who had mined Ethereum since its launch in 2015 using proof of work, this shift marked the end of an era. The miners, who once operated rigs that hummed with the sound of progress, now faced a future where their hardware was obsolete. For some, it was a call to adapt and innovate. For others, a melancholic farewell to a chapter that had defined their professional lives. In New York, Alex, a former Ethereum miner, reminisced about the early days of his mining operation. Each GPU had been an investment not just of money, but of hope. And now, with the merge, he stood at a crossroads. There were opportunities in proof of stake, staking pools and validator roles, but they were different, requiring less machinery and more strategic acumen. Alex's story was echoed by thousands who had ridden the waves of Ethereum's proof-of-work era. Meanwhile, the environmental gains were undeniable, and this was a milestone that the Ethereum community celebrated with quiet pride. The NFT boom in 2021 had spotlighted Ethereum's carbon footprint, sparking debates that raged across the internet and boardrooms alike. Reducing that footprint was not just a technological triumph, but a moral one. It symbolized a commitment to the planet that resonated with a generation increasingly aware of climate change's toll. The impact of the merge extended beyond environmental concerns. It altered the economic dynamics within Ethereum. Validators now took center stage, tasked with maintaining the network's security and integrity. This shift promised to make Ethereum more financially inclusive, allowing more individuals to participate in the network regardless of their access to expensive mining equipment. Yet, as with any pioneering venture, the path forward was not without risks. Ethereum's developers and community now stood as custodians of a new form of consensus, one that required constant vigilance and adaptation. They knew that the eyes of the world were upon them, waiting to see if this model could scale without faltering. The future of Ethereum lay not in rest, but in perpetual motion, driving forward with the lessons learned from its ambitious leap. The investigation into Ethereum's new era was not merely about metrics or security audits. It was an inquiry into the very soul of what blockchain could be, a testament to collective human ingenuity and perseverance. As they moved forward, the stakeholders in Ethereum's ecosystem were tasked with ensuring that their technological advancements served humanity, not merely technology itself. And so, as Ethereum turned the page to this new chapter, the question remained: how would this reimagined network shape the digital world in years to come? With every block validated, with every transaction confirmed, Ethereum edged closer to redefining the boundaries of what was possible and what was ethical. In the end, the investigation into Ethereum's future was not merely about the technology, but about the people who believed in its potential to change the world. It was about the visionaries like Buterin and the everyday users who put their trust in this collective journey. As the network evolved, so too would the stories of those entwined with it. One chapter had closed, and another had just begun. The merge was complete, but Ethereum's metamorphosis was far from over. As the dust settled, only one certainty remained: this was just the beginning. As the dust settled, only one certainty remained. This was just the beginning. The Ethereum community stood on the precipice of a new era, one defined not just by technological innovation, but by the stories of those who made it possible. With the merge successfully behind them, they were confronted with the question, what now? The legacy of the merge began well before that pivotal morning of September 15, 2022, at precisely 6:42 a.m. UTC. It was inextricably linked to the individuals whose dreams and sacrifices had built Ethereum from a simple idea into a complex reality. Vitalik Buterin, the enigmatic figure behind Ethereum, had published the original white paper in 2013, setting the stage for what would become a revolutionary shift in the blockchain world. In the years following the network's 2015 launch, Ethereum operated on the proof-of-work consensus mechanism, similar to Bitcoin and invented by the elusive Satoshi Nakamoto. This method, while secure, became synonymous with high energy consumption. At its peak, Ethereum's energy use rivaled that of entire nations, comparable to Chile. Yet, the vision had always been to transition toward proof-of-stake, a more sustainable model that, until the merge, had only been theorized and tested on smaller scales. This transition was a promise that Vitalik and his team had made to themselves and to the world, to deliver a blockchain capable of supporting a new frontier of decentralized applications without the environmental cost. The years leading to the merge were marked by countless hours of research and development, bringing together engineers, developers, and visionaries from across the globe. Names like Danny Ryan, a core researcher, and Aya Miyaguchi, the executive director of the Ethereum Foundation, became integral to this narrative. Their stories intertwined with the technology as they worked tirelessly through moments of doubt and delay. For the Ethereum community, the merge was not simply a technical upgrade. It was an aspirational milestone that signified maturity and an ongoing commitment to innovation. The immediate aftermath revealed a network that was not only operational but thriving. Transactions continued to flow seamlessly, and the dreaded technical glitches that many had feared failed to materialize. This was a testament to the meticulous planning and robust testing that had preceded the event. The reactions from the broader industry were varied. Some applauded Ethereum's bold move, viewing it as a necessary evolution that other blockchains would soon need to emulate. Others were more cautious, aware that even minor setbacks could lead to significant disruptions. But what could not be denied was the sense of achievement felt by those who had believed in the vision from the start. One such believer was Mihailo Bjelic, co-founder of Polygon, a network built on Ethereum. He described the merge as an inflection point, a moment that would redefine the boundaries of what blockchain technology could achieve. He saw it as an opportunity for Ethereum to double down on its principles of decentralization, security, and scalability, often referred to as the blockchain trilemma. For the decentralized finance (DeFi) space, the merge offered a renewed confidence. Protocols built on Ethereum could now operate with reduced carbon footprints, aligning more closely with global sustainability goals. Companies that had been hesitant to adopt blockchain technology due to environmental concerns began reconsidering their stance, cautiously optimistic about this newfound alignment. Yet, for all the successes, the merge also reminded everyone of the inherent risks in innovation. The transition spotlighted the need for cohesive governance and clear communication within open-source communities. It underscored the importance of transparency and inclusivity, ensuring that all voices, from miners to developers, had a seat at the table. The legacy of the merge was not just technical, it was deeply human. It captured the spirit of collaboration and the collective will to push boundaries, albeit with careful consideration. It paved the way for future upgrades, setting a precedent for how large-scale technological transformations could be achieved without sacrificing ethical standards. Looking ahead, Ethereum's path was far from complete. The merge was but one chapter in a story that would continue to unfold, with the community's eyes now set on the next set of upgrades collectively referred to as the Surge, the Verge, the Purge, and the Splurge. Each phase promised enhancements to scalability, state size management, and further improvements to the user experience. The challenges that lay ahead were significant. Scalability remained a considerable hurdle, with Layer 2 solutions offering potential, yet not fully realized relief. Ensuring that Ethereum could handle millions of users without compromising on speed or security was paramount. Developers and researchers knew that their work was cut out for them, and yet there was a palpable energy in the air, a belief that they were capable of achieving the extraordinary. The legacy of the merge also extended into societal realms. It became a narrative of hope during a time when environmental concerns were reaching a critical juncture. It showed that technological progress need not come at the expense of the planet, that innovative solutions could bridge the gap between industry and ecology. This message resonated far beyond the blockchain community, reaching those who had never before engaged with cryptocurrency. For those who had witnessed the merge, whether in code or spirit, the event would remain a defining moment in their lives. It highlighted the power of what could be achieved when a community came together with a shared purpose. It underscored the potential of decentralized systems to enact positive change beyond just financial implications. As Ethereum moved forward, it carried the lessons of the merge with it, lessons of patience, perseverance, and pragmatism. The journey was ongoing, but the foundation was solid. And so the Ethereum community, with its eyes on the horizon, ventured into the future, ready to tackle the next set of challenges and opportunities that awaited them. Like the saying goes, the only constant is change, and for Ethereum, that change was just beginning. As the narrative continued, the community held a collective breath, ready to turn the page to the next chapter of this unfolding epic. The merge stands as a testament to our intrinsic drive for improvement. In the realm of human endeavor, it is rare to witness such a seamless transformation of a living system, one that operates without a central authority, yet carries immense weight in economic and environmental terms. Ethereum's transition from proof of work to proof of stake on September 15, 2022, was more than just a technical feat. It was a profound reimagining of how trust and collaboration can drive technological evolution. At precisely 6:42 a.m. UTC, block 15,537,393 marked the end of an era. It was not just the closing of a chapter, but the culmination of years of relentless vision and perseverance. The kind of persistence that echoes across disciplines and timelines, from the hallowed halls of academia to the quiet hum of a server room. Yet, what unfolded in those decisive seconds was not new. It was the materialization of ideas first penned down by Vitalik Buterin in 2013, ideas that would later become the backbone of Ethereum. What we witnessed was a reawakening of the innovative spirit that resides within us all. Reflecting on the journey of the merge, we are reminded of the delicate balance between ambition and patience. The Ethereum community demonstrated how diverse minds working towards a common goal can navigate complex challenges. It whispers a quiet truth about human nature, that beneath the clamor for progress lies a shared commitment to stewardship and legacy. The energy-saving benefits were palpable. No longer would Ethereum's energy consumption rival that of a nation like Chile. The environmental stakes remind us of the ethical dimensions tied to technological advancements. Decisions made here resonate far beyond the digital world. They touch the earth, the air, and the future. As we gaze toward the horizon of possibilities now open for Ethereum, we see potential, but we also see responsibility. The merge illustrates that technology at its best doesn't just solve problems. It adapts, reflects, and shapes the fundamental tenets of human cooperation and trust. These are threads that tether us to each other, just as they bind us to our shared future. In the quiet aftermath, as we let the significance of the merge settle, let us find solace in the knowledge that progress need not be loud to be profound. It need only continue, like the constant rhythm of breath or the gentle lapping of waves against the shore. The plane has changed its course, and yet it flies still. As you close your eyes tonight, let these thoughts cradle you. The vast tapestry of human potential and the quiet assurance that we are part of something larger, something ever-evolving and steadfast. There is peace in knowing that tomorrow holds the promise of new innovations, born from the dreams of today. Sleep well and dream of what lies ahead.